plane. Look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
So the new Superman movie's pictures just dropped with crypto, and I have one question. Can this movie actually restore Superman to prominence? Superman is one of the most iconic superheroes of all time. He has been the face of DC Comics for decades, or one of the faces if you include Batman. He is the definitive superhero, inspiring generations of fans with his incredible strength, morality, and commitment to justice. One word describes Superman, and that is timeless. I don't think any hero has had so many copycats all over the industry than Superman. He is the original, the ultimate. However, despite Superman's popularity, Superman has struggled to remain relevant in recent years. Now when I say relevant, I mean he hasn't been in the spotlight as of late. Warner Brothers and DC have lost the plot when it comes to the Man of Steel. The values of Superman will always be relevant and are desperately needed in the superhero film industry and the world at large. In this video, we'll examine why Superman has lost some of his relevance and if James Gunn's new movie could restore him to prominence. But before we move any further, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Superman has been a fixture of popular comic book culture since he first appeared in Action Comics issue 1 in 1938. Over the years, he has been featured in countless comic book series, animated TV shows, and live-action adaptations. Some of the most notable portrayals of Superman include Christopher Reeve's iconic performance in Superman and Tom Welling's performance as the young Clark Kent in the long-running TV show Smallville. Despite this long history, Superman has struggled to maintain the same level of popularity in recent years. Warner Brothers and DC management have neglected him, plain and simple. This has led to so many misinterpretations of Superman, to many statements like he's boring, he's a Boy Scout, he's outdated. These things have marred his reputation. However, this doesn't mean that Superman is no longer a beloved character. He still has a massive fan base, as evidenced by the success of recent comic book runs and animated adaptations. So why has Superman struggled to remain relevant in recent years? The answer is simple: Warner Brothers. Seriously, Superman has not been the focus of a lot of DC properties. The way Superman has been written, portrayed, and presented has left a lot to be desired. There is a perceived lack of depth to Superman as a character that I have noticed recently. This wasn't a problem in the 2000s to the mid-2010s, I think, because Superman was portrayed with depth. Another reason for Superman's decline in relevance is the lack of memorable Superman movies in recent years. While there have been several attempts to revive the character on the big screen, none have captured the public's imagination in the same way that Christopher Reeves did in the late 70s and early 80s. Recent attempts like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman have been met with mixed reviews, with some fans criticizing the darker tone. But all of this isn't the real issue. The latest Superman offering is My Adventures with Superman, and while it has been received well, it hasn't really moved the needle if we're being honest. The problem is that DC and Warner Brothers have not treated Superman with the respect that he deserves as the face of the company. Batman has been consistently pushed with comics, TV shows, video games. Hell, even his villains are getting movies and TV shows. Seriously though, watch The Penguin. The last solo Superman film was released 11 years ago. The last solo Superman game was released in 2006. Why have we not even gotten a new Superman game? I really don't get it. He appeared in other games, but a solo Superman game has been well overdue. The mechanics of Superman Returns was so fun to play as a kid. Learning his powers, flying, having to learn how to control his abilities to reduce collateral damage. There was even something about the screen blurring out the faster you fly. God. It was such an amazing game when I played it. It's still amazing to me every time I remember that game was released in 2006, and all he has to stand on now is My Adventures with Superman and Superman and Lois, which is nearly not enough to raise Superman's stock. This brings us to the million-dollar question: can James Gunn's new movie elevate Superman back to relevance? Will this movie restart a Superman resurgence in the media? Will this movie warrant sequels or be a box office failure? Well, we will have to wait and see. Superman Legacy is supposed to kickstart the new James Gunn DC universe properly, and with all the images that I've seen, to be honest with you, I am skeptical. For one, I'm not a fan of throwing all these superheroes in a movie that should only be about Superman. I'm not saying it will be bad, but you run the risk of too many cooks spoiling the soup. It must be a delicate balance for this to work, where they don't take the focus away from Superman. We don't need the JSA in this movie. This movie should be about Superman and only Superman. A lot is riding on this movie, and including all these other characters is just not the way for me. Also, a lot of the Superman, let's call it marketing, looks like pandering. Yes, I said it, pandering. Like James Gunn has gone out of his way to show everybody, look, I'm making a light-hearted classic Superman film, please love it. But I don't know, it just feels weird to me. It's just too on the nose, runs the risk of predictability. The suits and everything I've seen look way too cheap and way too low tier. Hopefully it looks better in the actual movie, but a lot of what I've seen hasn't really gotten me excited. Ultimately, the success of James Gunn's new movie will depend on how well it balances the story, the action, and how effectively it introduces his Superman to the world. If Gunn's Superman is a rehash of Reeves' Superman, it's already on the road to mediocrity, because I can only take so much nostalgia feed in superhero media. Gunn's Superman would have to be nothing short of successful by all metrics. The CGI, the acting, the performances, the story, the writing, the characterizations, everything must be on point to show that you are taking this seriously. Superman's characterization is also key. I repeat, he cannot be a copy and paste version of Christopher Reeve. Contrary to popular belief, Superman can be portrayed as a complex character exploring his struggles with identity, responsibility, and his role in a rapidly changing world. The movie should also strengthen the role of supporting characters like Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and potential villains. Well-developed characters can enhance the narrative and provide meaningful interactions. Personally, I hope Lex Luthor is great in this. We desperately need a new Lex after whatever the hell this is. No hate, I'm just not a fan. Ultimately, I think James Gunn's Superman must have a distinctive visual style. Say what you want about Snyder, but there is a distinct visual style. It actually looks like a sci-fi epic with the story it was telling. There was beauty in that, no matter how many people tried to deny that. The first flight scene, the third act, everything was just marvelous. James Gunn is a filmmaker known for his ability to balance humor and action in his movies. He's had success with Guardians of the Galaxy, but Superman could be the perfect opportunity to reintroduce Superman in a new and exciting way. Take a page from What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, the story arc which was adapted into Superman vs. the Elite. The writers in that story were able to not only challenge Superman's ethics, but answer all the critiques of what he represents. If Gunn can capture that in his own way in this movie, he will in no doubt succeed. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Do you think James Gunn can actually do Superman justice? Let me know in the comment section. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.